Hey everybody, as usual, the last second live stream because what did I do here? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Yeah, a little bit better. Uh, I think I've just had enough overall. And if you saw the title, when is it time that you just say you had enough? I think I've just had enough of everything. And now I know how Steve Rogers felt, when he woke up after 70 years being frozen in ice, to take a Marvel phrase from it, after yesterday's disaster of a Marvel uh, reveal. You're just a man out of time. The internet is so messed up. It's so messed up. What do you believe anymore? You know what I mean? And it doesn't just transcend. It just doesn't stay with politics. I mean, politics are a mess. Um, it even comes over into the board game world. It comes into so many different variations of things. And I just don't give two shits anymore. I really don't. Um, so going forward, depending on what I'm doing, I'm just gonna say what I think, and I don't care. Um, just to have you guys know, politically, I'm not left. Okay, which some people will hang themselves. I'm not right. I'm an independent. I'm a card carrying independent person because there are certain things that I believe on both sides. So many of my views are just my views. But what makes my views even right? You know what I mean? I mean the way people treat each other, the way they do things. This world has gone to hell in a handbasket, in my opinion. My opinion. What does my opinion matter even? Nothing. But just the internet. I'm just starting to think that it's nothing but it causing trouble. And it's funny, the other day I was hoping to get some live plays in, but we had some horrific thunderstorms. And I said, I wanted to do Warhammer Quest. And I was agonizing up to the point, can I get it in? Can I get it in? And then I just finally said, you know what? I really don't care. I really don't care anymore. I don't. And if I can do something, I'll do it. If I can't, I can't. I just don't care. Because it doesn't seem to matter, anyways. People that are good and wholesome, not so much wholesome, but, have good intentions, nobody pays attention to. And I'm not talking me, I'm not talking about this channel, I'm just talking in general. But the more evil intent you have, the more you can take money from people and rip people off, the more attention you'll get. It's all about shock value. It's all about shock value. I mean, look at that stupidity at the Olympics the other day. Okay? Some people are, it becomes this whole thing about Christianity, blah, 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 so forth and so on. Okay, I get that. I get that. But shock value. And what's everybody talking about? It's either outrage or people defending it. But they're talking about it. The more stupid you are, the more you get attention. And that's what people want. That's what people want. I mean, are we all lemmings? Are we all stupid? I mean, it's the same thing in this. You know, the last night. Now I'm gonna move this thing. Uh, there were no storms or anything like that, and I had the two grandkids out here because they wanted to. I had to watch them while my son went and milked Elsie. Um, oh, it was Friday night. It was Friday night. Getting my timeline screwed up. And I had them out here, and actually it was Thursday night because I'll tell you how this goes. So Thursday night I had them out here, and it was about 7 o'clock, right? You know, about a half hour before their um, bedtime, and they wanted to play with the dice because they like to roll dice. Insane children. I said no because you throw them all over the place. Blah, 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 blah. So I had this underneath my table, my Beano board. Now, if you never played Beano, it's pretty cool. Okay. Oh, yeah, we'll get it in there like that. You take and where's the ball? Oh, you have this little ball and you flick it and you try to get it in the net. It's not that easy because those little posts are in the way. So you got to have a little bit of skill and so forth and so on. And they're playing and they're having a great time. For the most part, they're following the rules, and I'm just watching and refereeing. And I go, okay, Emery, it's your turn. Okay, Robbie, it's your turn. Okay, Emery, it's your turn. And they're laughing and having a good time. I go, boy, I should turn on the camera. I go, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. So they had a great time. They ran off. They went to bed. No problem. Next night, I go, yeah, I'm going to come out. This would be a decent live stream. It's about 7 o'clock. We could do this for about 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and get, at least a live stream in. And I went to turn on the thing, and I just looked at it, and I go, you know something? I really don't want to peddle my kids out here too much. Okay? Because of how weird people are. And the internet is just absolutely effing insane. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Okay? When people can make millions and millions of dollars, okay, for sitting there streaming a video game, okay, and you even got to watch what you say here. I mean, it's ridiculous. You can't say anything. We've been censored as a human race because you say the wrong thing, the whole world tries to cancel you. Nobody can cancel you. Nobody can make you go away. It's, do you cave into the unrelenting pressure of somebody behind a keyboard that can speak their mind behind a keyboard? That makes no sense. Our media lies on both sides. It's not just one side. It's just whatever the narrative that they want you to hear. Okay? Well, this one lies, that one lies. They all lie. Do you trust anybody anymore? And it's not just here in the United States. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's funny. Your phone even listens to you. Okay, I got my phone right here, and I'll get a ton of messages or different things, or I'll say certain things on here, and then all of a sudden, on my YouTube, it's about the biblical end. Okay, the end of mankind, the end of days, and I'm like, what's all this? So I start watching it. And then they feed you more stuff. Analytics and all the things. That's why this channel gets buried. It's because we're too vanilla. And I look in the mirror every time I make some videos and I go, when is it time that you just stop and go do something else? Go do something else. it's too weird. And I'm part of it. 4,000 videos. I'm kind of part of the internet. A little bit. I mean, anybody could be. I mean, YouTube was made for just the average guy just to do whatever. Express whatever they wanted to do. Whether it was playing video games, showing you how their farm works, pulling pranks on people, hot two girl, all those different things. Now the funny thing is, and this cracks me up, is I'm on, and I actually watch YouTube more than I watch TV, and I think a lot of people do. A lot of people are just getting away from TV. I don't want to watch the news because I just don't care anymore. Okay, things are stupid. I don't care. Okay. And I'll dig up old sci-fi movies. I'll watch old clips. I was watching some segments from heavy metal because me and my brother have been going on a kick about the old heavy metal magazine, and I think I mentioned this a few days ago on how we were talking about Mobius and his works, and my brother never heard of him, so I was like, "Well, dude, we got to go through all the heavy metal stuff." So I went out, and you can go on Etsy and you can just get anything. And I had gotten digital copies of the entire run of heavy metal, and I said, "You know what? I'm going to put this on my computer, and then I'm going to put it on a USB and send it up to him so he can experience this." Because it really is kind of hard to get some of that stuff unless you want to pay through the nose. I paid $30 for the whole collection. I've done that with a couple things, I don't have all the Savage Conan comics. So I went on there, got everything. Boom. $10. Okay, great. I can, even though I can't hold it in my hand, which I'd rather do, I'll do this. So, and I forgot where I was going with this. I was just thinking about Mobius, but anyways, we I was looking on YouTube, and I was looking at the old heavy metal movie, and they would show different segments of it, and I just spent a lot of time on there, and you'll see people that do the stupidest thing. 71,000 views, 81,000 views, 565,000 views because over some wrestling rumor. And you just sit there and you go, that's all it takes? You try that though. But anyways, and to get to my point, I come across this thing, right? Where it's this girl, and she's basically showing off see-through lingerie, which you can't tell from the whatchamacallit. She goes, "Oh, this is really nice shirts for my anniversary's coming up." So I go, "Oh, maybe I can get some ideas to get something for the queen." Click on it, and it's the see-through thing, and the girl's 3 million views because you could see her special purpose. And I went, okay, what am I doing? Why am I on this thing? Click, I got out of it. It wasn't even about, and I looked at it, I go, my wife will never wear that. I thought it was about a really nice blouse that, that's how naive and stupid I am, and old school I am, When we wanted to see stuff like that, we'd go out into the woods and dig up, um, a Playboy book that somebody gave us that we would hide in a case, bury it in the ground beneath the third tree over by the fourth rock. Now kids can just click and boom, there you go. There you go. This Tinder thing, I guess I learned about that the other day. Or what's the other one? An OnlyFan thing. Okay. Don't have an account, don't know what it is. Don't care. All right. This is the way we're going. Okay? We're destroying ourselves. Destroying ourselves. And I come on and, you try to do some decent, wholesome, hey, board games, this, that, the other. You get 27 views. Okay. I get it. No flash, no gets, no nothing. But YouTube's supposed to be how you do it. I'm not even going to try to say your last name. Good day, Rob. Greetings from Spain. Well, how you doing? Play till it hurts. How you doing? Glowing Turtle. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Gary. Good morning. And I make myself nauseous over the fact that, if I don't have at least 5 videos going up a week. And I think to myself, what am I doing? Why? For what? For what? Maybe if I trot my wife out here and have her pretend that she likes games, that'll get some extra views. Or grandkids. Or, whatever, go against the grain. Nah. Oh, should I clean up the behind me? No, this is how things really are out here. Okay, it's a chaotic mess. Because I'm going through so much. Oh, again, email works. Work emails. On Sunday? Okay, I'm not going to deal with that right now. I'm just way out of time. I'm way out of time. I'm a man out of time. I was sitting in my chair, I guess like old people do. I never realized it because, my grandfather would sit there, or my father, when he got older. My father's going to be 84. Haven't talked to him in God knows how long. We all know that story. I'm not going to repeat it. But I remember when I would bring my kids over when they were small to see him, and he would just sit in that chair. And he'd always be watching something, and I would sit down with him and watch it with him. And there's a couple movies that always stand out in my mind with him. Jeremiah Johnson, which my father-in-law loved as well. God rest his soul. Kelly's Heroes. Anything with Clint Eastwood, especially Outlaw Josie Wales. Okay, I own all these just because of him. Oh God, what was the other one? Midway. That was another one. And he would just sit there and reflect on older movies, and I'm going, these are really good. I'm really enjoying this. But boy, it's not Terminator. It's not Blade Runner. It's not yet. You get the time period I'm talking about, right? And now it seems the roles reverse. Here I am on the back 9. I'm at hole 13. 13 of 18. And I'm praying I can play it out well enough that I can maybe, with a little luck, if my scorecard's right, get to the 19th hole. How's that without throwing a whole bunch of religion in? And I was sitting in my chair, and I was going through some stuff, and I was just thinking about when I was small and the things I would look. And I was reading a magazine, and I loved reading old magazines. And this guy had written in a letter. Now you gotta remember, I'm from the Northeast, so I hope a lot of you will bear with me through this, okay? But you're gonna learn something, you know, because a lot of you are a lot younger than I am, okay? If you're in that 65 range, okay, maybe you can relate. And if you're under, maybe you'll think about this when you hit your back nine, okay? But I was reading this thing, and I'm originally from the Northeast, and this guy goes, you know, I remember this movie, and it was on WNEW Channel 5, okay, which is now a Fox station, but it was originally a New York station. Now, I lived in Connecticut, so you had your big wire antenna, and 3/4 of the time you can get it in there a little fuzzy, but every once in a while it'd come in crystal clear. But every Saturday night, you know, you were in front of that TV waiting for Creature Feature, okay? And he was talking about how he sat there with his friends, and I remember when I was young with my friends, I had a kid for a year that I used to hang around with. Was the only guy I had as a friend, but even he betrayed me. But we would watch Creature Feature, and then after that we'd go outside for about an hour, and then be wrestling at 12 o'clock on WOR. But I just remember those old times, being so excited to watch these movies. And it's amazing, you have cable now with 900 channels. 900. And you can't find anything to watch. And yet I had 3 channels and UHF. A couple channels on UHF, if you were lucky. And yet you found more to watch on a Saturday night. You know, you knew what time, where you were going to go, and your attention span was, okay, this is what they're showing. Oh, it may not be the greatest movie. Hosted by Lou Steele, my man. Lou Steele was awesome. Lou Steele was awesome. But it didn't matter, okay? I think it was more about the event. It's Saturday night. It's great. I don't have to go to school next day. All right, tomorrow's Sunday. Either there's going to be football, or, you know, it's during the summer. We're going to go and we're going to run through the woods like a bunch of fools with trash cans and sticks and pretend we're playing Knights of the Round Table or whatever. Or we used to have our little Mego superheroes, and we would go out back, and we were always doing something. Or we would play baseball. I had a tennis ball, and we had this root in my backyard, and I'd use that as the pitching mound, and then it would go up to the back fence, and we had this ramp, and we painted a white square in it, and that would be the strike zone. And it would be me versus this guy Paul and my brother, and I was just so much better than they were. I would just play by myself. It'd be me versus them two. Baseball game. Because they could barely hit me. And if they did, I was able to kind of, you know, they foul something off, I'd get them, or I'd strike them out. You know, we've had some games, but they couldn't stop me because I jacked the ball about 300. Either I break a window, or my mother was ready to kill me, or I hit the ball, you know, over the house, which was a home run. And we had about an acre and a half backyard. And that's what we would do. You know, we were always doing something. In the winter, we'd play football in the street. It was Green Bay versus Minnesota. I mean, there were just so many different things that we could do. And I was sitting in this chair just thinking of those things. We had imaginations. And there wasn't the strife that you find on the internet out in the streets. You know, my mom worked, my father was a cop, and then he had a secondary job. If I wasn't helping him with the secondary job, where I would get $5 for 40 hours, yeah, $5 for, no, it was about $10. It would vary, it depended how much he would get paid. And during the summer, I would make that money and I would put it away, because comic books back then were 15 and 20 cents. So you can imagine $5. That's a month's worth of comic books. A little candy and soda on the side, too. So I'd get that money, and then once a week, we could convince my friend's mother to drive us down to the drugstore, Medcalf's. And I'd get all the comic books. We'd get our wrestling magazines, which were a little expensive back then, so you had to make sure that you had some steam. And I would do some chores around the house, and my mom would give me $1 allowance. That would afford my wrestling magazines. But also, there were some of those magazines that you would see, and you go, "Oh, I gotta get that one." Famous Monsters, or some of the black and white horror magazines, Tomb of Dracula and things like that. And, we would just read. We would use our imaginations. That's all we had. But with the internet the way it is, you can say, I have a keyboard in front of me, and it gives somebody unlimited power to say whatever they want with no consequence. And the thing is nobody's told a lot of people that they're wrong. And this is where the internet is such a blessing and yet such a curse. And I've thought about this all last night, because just watching the never-ending bullshit that's been going on. Okay? And, I have an X account where I would post. You never see me comment about things as far as anything is concerned, really. I use it to put up painting pictures, or I'll let people know I'm doing an auction, or we'll take a picture of this messy room and I'll put it up. Maybe I'll do that today, right? Here we go. Let's take a picture. I mean, this is the power of the internet, okay? Okay, so I have photo, and here, I'll take a picture of this whole thing of games. Oh, or maybe, yeah, okay. Oink. Or maybe I'll come over here. Oink. That's a better picture. And I'll put some stupid caption. Oh, I need it. I'll put it on X and Instagram, because I like Instagram. Instagram's a little better because you just put a picture up and it's something like that. But with X, it's the only place where you have freedom of speech anymore. Okay? Because I don't care what you say, what side you're on. You can't tell me that the internet, that the media doesn't lie to you. I don't care what side of the fence you are. Everybody has an agenda for some reason, and people have an opinion. And people never sit there and communicate with each other. Okay? Say I believe in X, and this person believes in Y. Okay? And yet the true answer is Z. Okay? People will throw themselves on a sword to defend themselves with X or Y, even though they know the answer is Z. Okay? again, I'm trying to be careful how I say things. And it's a shame. I should be able to say whatever I want, right? Should be able to say whatever I want, however I want. Because back in the day, and we've talked about this before, if you had an opinion and you believed in it, you were face to face with somebody. And if you wanted to be heated and take it to a certain level, well, that was your choice. But you had to stand there and you had to face it. And because people can't face people nowadays, and this is a theory I have, so bear with me because I'm going someplace with this. They can say whatever they want on these platforms. Sometimes they'll get banned. A lot of people censor it. Okay, you never get a true accounting of what is real and what is not. Okay. And there's no accountability. And it's been that way for a very, very, very long time. So now these people are coming into adulthood, going to college, going out into the real world. And you get these Karens, and we'll call them Chucks. The opposite of a Karen is a Chuck. Okay? And what they'll do is when they don't believe something because they have no real interaction with humans, that they're going out there and being destructive. Look what happened to the Liberty Bell. I mean, that was disgusting. And there was no accountability for it. Because people don't know how to confront people anymore. Back in the day, you threw down. Or you guys went at it to a point where you agreed to disagree, but you got your point and you stood your ground. Now, standing your ground is behind a keyboard and it doesn't matter what you say. You think you're right because nobody's ever told you you were wrong. It happens in board gaming, where they take and they make political bullshit about board gaming now. Oh, I don't have the right type of people at my table, so we're not going to play a game. I don't want to play with that person because he's an old white guy. It's supposed to be a game. It's everywhere. And there's no accountability. And if you stand up to them, then you're a bully. If you fight back and say, oh, no, go F yourself, they start to cry and they'll go on social media and they'll try to defame you and do all these things. Again, it doesn't matter what side you're on. This is what we've become. And you see all these videos about the end of days and all this other stuff. Maybe they're not wrong. Maybe they're not that wrong. And I find it really hard to have the strength to come on here or make videos. Am I making it for the few people that are still have some kind of sensibility that will see things a certain way? Am I wrong? Could be. I mean, what makes me right? Nothing. It's my opinion. What is right? Do we have a sense of what right and wrong is? Or is it all conceptual in what somebody believes? And it makes you wonder, or or scratch your head, or have I been just so dulled by the stupid computer and the internet and all its misgivings? I'll have some people write stuff, and I'll go, why you gotta be so snarky about it? Would you do that if you were standing in front of me? So I delete it, and people get mad over that, and I get frustrated, and I go, why am I doing this? Why? Should I? Or am I just fatigued and just need a break? I have noticed, play till it hurts. Oh, TT for life, how are you? Seems only the offended are allowed to offend others. Yeah, which makes no sense. I have noticed that about board gaming today, Rob. Back in the day, everyone was welcome at a board gaming table. Yeah, it's just, you want to play a game? Well, I don't know how. Okay, we'll teach you. And we didn't even get the rules right half the time. Do you know I was playing Broadside for the longest time? When I was a kid, we would play it a certain way. And we played it forever. Forever. I pulled it out recently because it's under there, and I was looking for something. And I go, oh, Broadside. I remember playing this. This is a great game. I read the rules. I go, oh my God, we've been playing it wrong for 50 years. For 50 years, we've been playing that game wrong. And I thought to myself, I go, did it really matter? We had fun. Wasn't that all it's supposed to be about? Now it's about crunchy games or Euro games versus Ameritrash games and board game snobs, and if we don't have the right stereotypes and this, that, and the other. Man, I just want to take a barbarian, a mage, a ranger, and a thief and go on an adventure of imagination and forget about all the bullshit out there. But you can't even do that. You can't even do that anymore. Or am I so off base? I loved Broadside as a kid. And likely played it wrong too. We had this game, Carrier Strike. Carrier Strike was so good. Because up in Northeast, back in the day, it snowed from November to late March, mid-April. And it was too cold to do too much outside. I mean, we'd go out and play football in the snow for a few hours, or we used to take my brother, and he was a guinea pig. And we had this hill. We called it Death Hill. And during the summer, the rains would wash it all out and make it all hilly, bumpy. So you'd have this hill and it'd be like this. Then the snows would come, right? And it would take about 3 times going down. We used to have one of those saucers going down to get it right. And you go a little bit farther, then you climb back up the hill, and go a little bit farther until you can almost go like, a quarter of a mile. That's how high the hill was. But sometimes we would take just plastic bags and we'd grab them and we would double stuff them. And we would send my brother down backwards, and you just watch him get killed. He'd go down, and a couple times he would hit this one thing, and you just see him go up in the air like Calvin and Hobbes, him in his jacket, his mittens all spread out like this, and hear all the air just leave his body. It was just funny. It was so funny. Oh God, I laughed my ass off. But then we would try to all go down in one saucer. And that was just death. It was just seeing how bad we can just go down and get killed. And we would get killed. And then people would be all busted up and everything. And then we go back in, we're all soaking wet. And, dry off. And, watch some TV. And then I'd walk home. That's what we would do, Or, we were playing a lot of board games. We were playing a lot of board games as kids. And there wasn't a ton of stuff. So, when we would, go to the store and stuff. Oh, what the heck's going on with the internet? It's okay. Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with the internet lately. Solo is the way to go. If you have to play with strangers, you mute all. This applies to both board gaming and video gaming. Yeah, video gaming. Back in the day, like in television, you had to play with somebody else. Okay? You had to play with somebody else. And, especially football, baseball, or something. And thank God I had my brother back then. Because, I would say, hey, you want to play? All right, come on. He'd get pissed, though, and quit in the middle of the game if he was getting beat. But then they come out with, this thing where you can multiplayer over the internet. And it was the greatest thing in the world. Because now you could play with somebody anywhere in the world at any time, right? What a gift. What a blessing. Until they open their mouths. Or they quit on you halfway through. Or they, they start talking crap when they're beating you. It's okay to lose, but, kind of be decent, you know what I mean? But people can't do that, can they? It's impossible. And now, you go play Call of Duty, and I would get slaughtered. I didn't care. I just wanted to play. But then, you got this 9-year-old mother effing you all day long. Mike, how are you? I am from Western Australia. Let me tell you something, Mike. All right, I'm going to tell you right now. My wife and I are huge fans of Australian TV. Dear God, you people are out of your minds, and I love it. And I'm talking about your reality TV, okay? Because we watch Married at First Sight from Australia every year that it comes out, because we have a little thing that can get us any channel in the world. And I will tell you right now, maybe the greatest show I've ever seen in my life. Those dinner parties when people just brawl just to brawl. And I love it. That's the way you do things. If you're going to argue with each other, argue to each other's faces. There's all kinds of snaky stuff. They make a person marry somebody without seeing them. Now these doctors are supposed to be experts. We're going to take your blood. We're going to take personality. We're going to vet you. We're going to screen you. We're going to find the perfect mate for you. And they get it wrong every single time. Every single time they get it wrong. And they put all these people together. Okay? And they come together for these dinner parties. Where they all sit down. And this one's got a problem with this one. Or this one's eyeing that one's husband. And it's like, oh, I don't want to be married to this guy. I want to be married to that guy. And they think as experts, they call themselves experts, that they got it right. That they got it right. Okay? No way. No way. The one here in America is horrible. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't watch a lot of reality TV, but with my wife, we try to do something together, and I get a kick out of this. I really do. Just watching people just we've watched all, I think it's 11 seasons or whatever it is. Glorious. Glorious. If you have a chance or you have the means, sit down. You want to spend some time with your wife? You want to spend some time? Have her put that on. Because you'll get as much enjoyment as I did and she would. What was the other show that we watched that was absolutely bonkers? Oh God, there was something else from Australia that we Big Brother. Big Brother, we started watching that from Australia. That was glorious. So, it's just it's something for her. It's guilty pleasures, I guess, But God, every time I think of Australia, I think of all that great stuff that we watch there and stuff. There's a lot of good TV from Australia. Jeez, glorious. Oh, goodness me. Science knows nothing about love. No, science doesn't seem to know much about anything. Much about anything. But I'm just shocked at how much people have changed just in a couple of generations. And I guess maybe my father, the point I was trying to get to originally was, I would see my father and my grandfather and, how they looked at me, oh, you big idiot. What? And you would never listen to a word that they say. What do you guys know? All right. Oingo boingo. Well, they're great. Frank Sinatra was right. And now you listen to music today and you go, oh my God, what's that compared to what I did? And then you start to say, oh, they did the same thing. So is it just things changed from generation to generation? Are they getting worse? Or is it to the point where things have gotten so bad that we've fallen behind so much technology that now, compared to that one section of people, people always changed, There was the 50s and you had your greasers or, your howdy doody guys, and then the 60s where, there was turmoil and stuff like that, in the 70s where there was changing, in the 80s excessive and things like that. But then when technology came, but through all those ages, people connected and talked to each other and were civil, and not so much civil, but they weren't afraid to get in each other's faces and express each other. Now, since technology has come in, now it's really changed things to a point where there's just this really, really bad divide. And I mean massive divide. And it's all right. It's all right. Do you need some? My daughter-in-law. And, I fear for my grandchildren. I really do. I just hope, some of the things that you see that people do, or maybe it's always been there, it's just now exasperated because of technology. Because everybody has a camera and can post it up on something. Maybe these things have always happened. I don't know. I don't claim to have all the answers. But at what point do we all just come together at some point and go, there's something seriously wrong here? There has to be some medium ground. When's enough enough? Where do we meet in the middle and come together as a society and decide what's right? You got one part of the world saying, one thing, the other side saying another thing. Last time I checked, we're a republic, particularly here in the United States. The people are supposed to run the government. The people are supposed to give power to the government. And now we don't even do that. We've been silenced. As a whole. Both sides. There has to be some common ground. When's enough's enough? It makes me not want to be on this platform anymore. And I sometimes just don't have the strength really anymore to some degree. You know, maybe I should just concentrate on myself, my grandchildren, my farm, my job. We have such wonderful technology that we can do so much with. Politics was supposed to be a burden someone takes upon themselves, not a career path. You're supposed to believe in making rules for people that were fair. Now they change the rules because people don't want to lose. People cannot handle being told they're wrong anymore. It's okay to be wrong. It really is. Not everybody's right. What's the right answer? We don't know. Somewhere in between. Now you're called all kinds of things if you don't agree with somebody's opinion. There's people that don't agree with what I say. And for the most part, if they handle it respectfully, it stays on this channel. But when you become hateful, this, that, and the other, I just delete it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm numb to it now. And I shouldn't be numb to anything. And I shouldn't be so worn out, and I shouldn't be so disgusted. This is a gaming channel. This is a channel that I talk about my life, your lives, my journey through, you know, these years. I mean, I've been doing this. Somebody wrote me the other day and said, you know something, Rob, are you going to Gen Con? I go, well, no, I'm not. Mostly health reasons more than anything else. I just want to stay on the right path, you know. And with COVID ramping up, I just said, no, I ain't doing it. I can't get that a third time. It'll kill me. And because, you know, I've been following you for 8 years. And I go, really? 8 years. So 8 years of my life I have documented on this channel. And I feel like I haven't done anything. It's weird. And yet I've done so much. And at the end, you know, why have I done it? And I question myself about that. Why have you done it? Do I do it because I believe in what I'm doing? Do I do it because of this and that? Well, you know, the funny thing is, the reason this all started was because of my uncle. And a lot of you heard that before. He had a passion for all this stuff, for painting and things like that. And I've always had this vivid imagination thanks to him. Where did I get my Dungeons and Dragons background? From him. He was this old hippie. Old. He was a young hippie. He was amazing. And I remember going up, for those of you in Connecticut, Sleeping Giant. It was in Hamden, Connecticut. And, yeah, you could let her out. Come here, girl. My faithful war dog. Hello, war dog. Hello, war dog. The war dog. My faithful shepherd. Go ahead, lay down for a little bit. We're going in a few minutes. Hey, did you see those packages on the table for you?
Yes, I needed that very much. Thank you.
Okay, I forgot to tell you. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Thank you.
All right, bro. Hey, Sorry, folks. The scratching post. Did you see the thing came off of it?
Another one?
There was one on the ground. It's been on the ground for a while.
I'll go in and grab it.
We need to fix that
Okay.
for the girls.
Okay. I will.
All right. There's always something to do on the farm here. This kid really works hard. He really does try. He's building something now that's really, really cool. We have solar panels on a carport, and it leads down to 2 giant batteries. And then we have a bunch of plugs there with a converter and stuff like that. So hurricane season, if we lose power, we can run the couple of fridges out here without putting a lot of stress on our gas supply for our Generac. You always got to be thinking ahead nowadays. We try to be self-sufficient, and people don't do that anymore because they rely on everything else, and people hold your lives in the palm of your hand, in their hands, okay? And they can squeeze you for everything that you have. Why is it so hard for people to have a home nowadays? Because BlackRock and a lot of these other places are buying up all these things, making it harder for the younger kids to own anything. It seems like the rich are trying to squeeze you and hurt you, okay? And the powerful. And it's the same thing in every facet of life, okay? Every business. The ones that are powerful are always trying to squeeze the middle to the below, because power corrupts. Always does. Always does. The more famous you become, the more corrupt you become. Kevin, how are you, my man? What does he say? Good morning to all. You found the right audience that appreciates you and your message. I hope so, and I think that's what keeps me going. But boy, I tell you, you'll wonder why you come on here. You really do. With the advent of social media, people have become cultish in everything they do now. Yeah, it's very true. Yes, really, BlackRock isn't talked about as much as it should be. Emma, I come from a country that had suffered through 2 civil wars, hyperinflation, and all kinds of political BS. All chaos tends to go back to order and vice versa. It is a cycle. Good people prefer order. We really do. But we need order that's fair. Fair for all people. There shouldn't be the division that we have. When you look at a person walking down the street, okay, don't worry about what color, what race, what this, what that, how high, how small, how wide, how strong, how weak. If we start looking at people as people and be kind and treat people the way we want to be treated, if they want to be heard, listen. Listen. You may not agree with it, okay? But listen to their side. Why do they feel that way? Why is that? And then, if you feel you can enlighten them or give them a different side of it, be able to communicate your side to it. You might just find with cool and calm heads and people that are willing to listen that both sides have a point. You may not totally agree with their point, but you can understand their vision and their concept of those points. And would be a lot better for it. Well, this person likes this. I don't believe in that, but I understand it makes them happy and they want to do that. Okay. Go ahead, do that. If that makes you happy, just do it, be happy, and, I don't prescribe to it. It doesn't make it wrong. I mean, there are things that are just plain wrong, okay? There are things that are just plain wrong. And I don't even want to go into those things because I think about those things. You know, and that's not a thing that, okay, you just do your own thing. It's, you know, respect everybody's space. Respect everybody's beliefs. Okay? If we can just do that, and this platform is poison. It really is. It's unbelievable poison. I'm not talking YouTube. I'm talking all of it. It is a platform that people can stand protected and hide behind things, make a fake account, and say whatever hate that they want because they're unhappy with their lives, because they're unsure what to do. Because mommy and daddy unfortunately had to work so much that they couldn't give them an upbringing that they deserve or spend time with them, or they were too busy in their own lives. Okay? I'm sorry for that. But you got to be bigger than that. Heck, back in the 70s, my parents worked. Do I blame them for the way I am? No, I blame me. I am me. I made choices. Nobody forced me to make any choices. Okay? Anything I decided to do of my own free will. And if I choose not to decide, I still have made a choice. Think about it. You know where that came from. Free will. You determine who you are. If you want to change, I've seen people that had horrific drug, alcohol problems, you know, separate problems, drug problems, alcohol problems. And on just one day, they can just go, I don't want to do this anymore. That's having the right to choose. You have a right to do or choose how you want to be. If you want to be a complete idiot, you're going to make that choice. It comes down to you. You can't keep pointing at everybody else and blame everybody else. Well, I don't understand them. Then it's up to you to have the free will and the choice to try to understand other people's opinions, other people's thoughts. To stay off social media if you want to. Or be on it and maybe try to be some kind of positive force. And there are some beautiful people out there. There's this one girl that I follow. I don't follow, but I'll watch her videos. She's a country girl. And somebody said something about her that she was not a girl because she was doing things that she loved. She loved to fish, she loved to farm, and she had, you know, this deep south twang to her. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful girl. Pretty girl. And just loved to go in fishing, do all these kinds of different things and stuff like that. And just enjoying it and sharing it with the internet. It was something positive. And yet people found a way to hate on that. There's so many wonderful things that this medium can be used for. You know, when I think of people, you know, doing positive things, you know, I'll always go to a Rodney and Chaz and his group, you know, how they just do things very positively. They're not cocky about it. You know, if you ever met them personally, you know, I've known them for a long, long time. They really are who they are, in front of the camera and behind the camera. Well thought out, don't get me wrong. But it's not this fake facade. Ugh, girl. You just came out here. Come here. Ugh. It's not this fake facade. I know a ton of fake ass channels. And I just go, why am I doing this? People fall for this. I mean, it's like putting a shiny lure in the water. They hook them every time. Bunch of marks. And they fall for it. But it's not my job to enlighten them to who's an idiot and who's not. And the power, once you get some kind of fame, all of a sudden you start thinking you can say anything that you want to say. You make a couple of games that are popular, now all of a sudden you have a political view and you're going to shove it down somebody's throat because you made a popular game. So now all of a sudden that makes you a political activist? Or because you get a lot of viewership that now you can hold people ransom. Ugh, you want to put your game on my channel? Well, you are going to pay through the nose. You have the freedom to do that. But again, it falls into that big government thing. Just on a minute level. I'm big. I've got a little power. Now I'm going to squeeze everybody and get mine. Greed. Lust. All those evil things can all be found on here. And they used to burn comic books. Maybe I'm just old and tired. I don't know. Maybe so. But I will tell you this much. And I've gone on for about an hour. I could probably go on for another hour. Next week I will not be here. Okay. I am going to start my time. And again, I'm going to apologize to people that did not see the Warhammer Quest videos. I do have some tape playthroughs, and I will start putting those up instead. It is just that time of year. It's hurricane season. We haven't even head to the midpoint yet, which is September 10th. Okay, and we are dealing with a lot of rain and storms every single day. Thunder, lightning, and power outages, at least 3 times a week so far. And it affects our internet a lot. So doing live plays, I just don't know if I could. If we get a clear day, I will, when I can. But I also need some time. I'm going to keep putting up videos, maybe not as many, but I need some time away a bit. But I plan on using those taped playthroughs. Matter of fact, it's kind of funny. I played this with my grandkids the other day. Dice and Dragons. Okay, they're 5 and 3. Okay, they didn't really have a clue what was going on, but they knew that they were trying to kill that dragon, and they loved to roll dice. It wasn't too bad. So a lot of times I should just turn on the camera, and I don't. Because you also like to keep them private. They kept on asking me to bring out the tiger. Can you bring out the tiger while we play? And can he talk to us? He's sleeping. He's actually under the table, and I just didn't want to bring it out. But I just feel you're going to keep seeing content here. I hope you'll support the channel. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. I hope you'll watch the channel. We got enough videos going for the next couple of weeks, and then I'll start uploading the playthroughs. I'm going to take some time. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. It's a great point, Kevin. That's a fantastic point. Sometimes less is more. But I'm gonna take a little bit of some time. I've got enough stuff in the canister. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Next week I will not be on Sunday morning. But I may come back on the following Sunday morning, and we'll talk some more. So we'll do that. I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I've got to go dig 4 post holes for the queen. And we have to spread some stuff out. She always putting me to work. And then we have to run to Home Depot. We got to go get her medication. We got to take the pups for a ride. We'll go get some steak and shake for lunch. I'm going to come back and I'm going to read some comic books. Sounds like a pretty good Sunday if you don't. Well, the first part sucks. But I enjoy coming out here. I'm hoping that I can just, in September when the stormy season isn't here, I can come back and start doing some of the live stuff I want to do. But if I don't, I'm okay with that too. I'll figure things out. But I'm just going to keep going. I think I'm tired and need a break. And sometimes you gotta say enough is enough. I gotta stop looking at social media and the hatred and stop getting so, wondering what's next. And then you look and you try to find out what's next. There's always something every day. But start spending time with yourselves, with people, talking to people, voicing opinions, discussing things, enjoying things together. Get outside, for God's sakes. Stop looking at your phones. Leave them home for once. You have to. We're just going to eat each other alive. I love you all. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.